Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I'm your host, Aleigha, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you so much for joining us this beautiful, beautiful evening. You could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you chose to spend it with us, and for that, we're totally grateful. I want to thank our sponsors, y'all. Mom Biz Boss, multiple operational managers. If you're an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, this is a group that you need to connect with. Mom Biz Boss, Mom like multiple operational managers, biz, boss, boss.org. Check them out, connect. Y'all, when I tell you it's well worth it, we just finished up a conference that I emceed about a week ago. Yeah, we had an awesome, awesome time. We learned so much. There were people you're learning from so many people. It's not about competition. It's about collaboration and just learning and gleaning from each other. And so, but I'm not going to go on and on about that. But I will also put in the link to any of how you can get my books, also the link to connecting with mombizboss.org to make sure that you connect because you don't want to miss out with connecting and collaborating. You never know who they have access to that you need and vice versa. Okay. And then I will also put my books out there, my books and services. I'm an author, motivator, empowerment coach, breathwork coach, and MC. So I'm putting all of the information, my link out there for you to be able to pull that up. Do me a favor, y'all. I want you to hit that share button or tag a friend. We are still celebrating Women's History Month, and we're actually having an awesome, awesome young lady that allowed me to meet by way of social media, right? And so God is so faithful. And this is when I tell you, she is so smart. She's an amazing woman of God. And I want y'all to welcome her. But before we welcome her again, I need y'all to hit that share button. And as you're hitting your share button, tell us what state are you tuning in from? Because if you're on LinkedIn and YouTube, unless you comment, I can't see you. Okay. So come on in and we're going to welcome her now. Welcome to On Fire to Inspire, Jacqueline. How are you this evening?
Hey, I am doing well, doing well. It is such an honor to be on the podcast. Aaliyah, I cannot wait to talk about what we talk about tonight.
Well, welcome, welcome. Now, thank you so much for taking the time because we know life is busy being a business owner, a wife, a mother, and all the things that we do, right? So we appreciate you taking the time. So, can you tell us about yourself? This is your first time on the podcast. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'll start with my background. So my name is Jacqueline Corley. I have a huge background in technology. I've been in technology probably since 2008 when I first started learning to code in high school. And then after high school, I went on to college and graduated with a bachelor's and master's in computer science, 2012 and 2014. And after I worked a few years, it was about 3.5 years as a software database developer, I decided to transition careers into being a higher ed college professor in the computer science world. And I did that for about 10 years. I also taught at a software development boot camp, a couple of software development boot camps, I would say over the span of 2 years. And I love those experiences. But I really, like probably a lot of you listening, just wanted to have some time and flexibility to be able to do work that allows me to be flexible with my family. So now I'm a licensed professional coach and also AI practitioner. And I am a Christian women's business coach, wellness consultant, and pattern breaker. I help women in life transitions break destructive cycles, reclaim their identity, and build kingdom businesses using faith, purpose, and technology. So that is pretty much what I do. I have a program called the Purpose Activator where I do help kingdom women not only activate what their purpose is if they don't quite know what it is, but if they do, I help them to be able to elevate that purpose and use systems to do so. Because sometimes we know what God has called us to do, but we don't always know how to really scale that calling the way that He's called us to do that. And so that's what I do in Purpose Activator. Like I said, I'm also a wellness consultant, big women's health wellness advocate. And so I help women also regain their rhythm as they are building their businesses and as they are building those kingdom ventures that they want to build. And so today I'm here with Aleigha to kind of discuss with you guys about how technology affected the days of Black history. I know it's Women's History Month, but I still think it's relevant, honestly, right? So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Oh, and I'm also a wife and mom of two kids.
Wife and mama too. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
the topic, how
mhm,
technology has affected the days of Black history. And again, Black history and women's history, you are a business owner and you're African American. So it all
mhm.
still ties in together. And so, and we don't need to be celebrating Black history on just one month. So, you know, so share with us, what does that topic itself mean to you?
Yeah, so first I'll start with just technology in general. I think a lot of people forget that technology is not just digital technology, it's also books, it's also magazines, it's also pen and paper. And so I remember when my mom was telling me, now, first of all, I'll just say I'm a big avid reader. I'm an author as well, but I love reading. And I remember my mom told me once about how during her days they couldn't even get access to certain books during, I believe, segregation times. And so, me as someone who loves to read and is an African American, I couldn't imagine not being able to have access to books. I mean, I read every day. And so, when I thought about this topic, it made me think about, wow, how simple access to simple technology, pen and paper, books, magazines, we take advantage of or sometimes, take for granted because we think that now because we have access to so much information, we've got AI now, we got all of this stuff that wouldn't have even been considered back then. But then just thinking about how the basic forms of technology wasn't even accessible to some Black people. And so, first, I just have gratitude to be able to live in an era where technology is accessible because I think that that is one thing that just technology in general has increased is the accessibility to information that people need. And so really what this topic means to me is just being able to, especially as a Black woman, have access to the information that I need to be able to grow what it is I need to be able to grow. And it's also confirmation for me that, I'm living in this era with a purpose. um, my love for technology matches our day and time, obviously. So, if I were born sooner, I don't know how happy I would really be in life because I wouldn't be able to use those skills really as much. So that's really what that topic means to me.
Okay. Now, how did you said you were a professor for like 10 years. First of all, you don't look like you're old enough to say, I was a professor for 10 years. What? You look like you're 20. No, so,
I'm 36.
no, I wouldn't have been more guessed that one. So, what made you shift into actually going into entrepreneurship and utilizing your skills for your building your legacy for you and your family?
Yeah, so I think even though I was a computer science professor, I come from a family of educators, right? And my mom's a teacher, my dad was a substitute teacher at one point, I believe he still is. I have a brother-in-law who teaches, who has taught before on how to, build things and be a handyman to students. I've got a brother who's a coach, so I literally have like education in my family, right? But even just going back to the access of things, like I wanted to be able to show people not only how they could have access to things, outside of a 9 to 5, but also really how to grow that. But really on the personal side of things, once I started to realize that I was a bit limited on the time. I was a little bit limited on just certain things that I was able to do, and even realizing I had to kind of scale back now as a mom. That was the biggest thing that made me say, okay, now is the time to really start thinking about entrepreneurship. But really, the overall impact is to show people how they can utilize technology in a way that's not limiting, but still honors God at the same point. So I think that a lot of people have questions about that. It's like, how can faith and tech merge? And we see it a lot already. You see people every Sunday, churches are streaming on YouTube. You're seeing even just different people of faith on TV. I mean, that's been going on for years, but just the ability to be able to see that now has increased as we've got more TV channels and those types of things. I mean, I was scrolling through the TV the other day and I was like, how many faith channels do we have? My goodness. But it was so good to, see that I think I probably saw at least 10 to 15 faith channels now. When I was growing up, it wasn't even near that many. So yeah, just that's pretty much how I got into it. Just really deciding now was the time for me to really transition for my family, but then also it's just time to make a greater impact. I love the impact that I was making as a educator, but I just felt now it's time to show people how to increase that.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. So, you were talking about how you like taking people who, whether they know their purpose or not, to help them move into a place of navigation. Now, that right there, in and of itself, utilizing technology, taking, when I think about you being a professor and what you're doing now and what you're great at, and taking what's here or here and bringing it to life, it's like, whoo. So, with that said, how have you gotten a lot of people that's like afraid to even try something new? Have you got a lot of pushback with like, I don't know? Do you get
Um,
that?
yes, but then also, Leah, I smile when I get that because those are the people that I really like to help the most because what I have learned, and I told you earlier that I help people break patterns as well, right? What I have learned is that a lot of times it's not even so much about the thing that they're trying, and it's more so just about a pattern that they've had in their life where, they've tried something and they've been a little nervous, or maybe they did try it and it didn't work out. But really being able to analyze those patterns to see why that's the case can really help you get over the hump and the nerves of trying something new. Um, even just I was talking to a client the other day who was very nervous about, getting her new app out to new people, and all of these things that she was thinking in her head. And I asked her one question. I said, "Well, has anybody told you that yet? Because you haven't shared the app with anyone, right?" And she just kind of sat there and was like, "You're right." And then we started to really think about where the pattern came from. Because sometimes these patterns can make you feel like these things actually happened. But no, you haven't even actually shared your new thing with people, or you haven't even actually started doing the thing yet. So that's why it's important to really getting into the pattern basing process first to see like what you really need to let go so you can move forward and try that new
Love it. Now, what if you
thing.
have this person on like listening right now and they're like, okay, I have this in me and I'm good at this and I'm good at that and I'm good at this, but I'm so good at so many things. I don't know what to do. How would you talk to that person that's listening to us, whether they're listening live or they'll be listening to the replay?
The first thing I would tell you is to no longer look outward, right? Because of what a lot of people do is they will look at their resume, like the things that they're good at, things that they've done, education that they've got, certifications, right? But then what they end up not actually doing is looking within, like what is the actual brand story or what is the actual story that they want people to know or they want to share with people. And then how can they formulate that into what it is that they do. So you might be one of those people that you have acquired a lot of things. You've got skills, you've got education, you've got certifications, you've got experiences, but you might not have really looked at that really deep seated story or that really deep seated purpose of how you want to be remembered or what you want to talk to people about. And once you do that, it's going to all start to make sense. For me, my biggest story was merging faith with technology because I believe that faith driven innovation is the best way to show your uniqueness and your purpose to the world. And so that is the story that I'm basing everything that I do alongside that. And so now I'll just run down the examples. I have my own podcast called Cutting Edge Conversations where I help people be able to listen to people that come on and talk about how they're using technology and faith to impact people. We say cutting edge faith plus cutting edge tech equals cutting edge impact, cutting edge conversations. So that aligns with that technology story that I talk about. I have a book that I've written on how to use AI to enhance your time with God. That aligns tech and faith story. I have a nonprofit now where we just expanded into it being a online university that we're relaunching very soon, where we're going to have Bible college and technical schools faith and tech, right? So you see where I'm getting at, right? All of those things are external, but they all started with the inner story of faith driven innovation with faith and tech being merged. So you have to just figure out what is your story and what you want to portray to the world. And that's when all the projects, all the ministries and the businesses will flow from it.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Because you have so many people that have, when they hit a certain age and they've had all these people, these, if you will, demi downers that's been in their ear because they've never accomplished, things that they set out to do or maybe never ever set a goal. So now they have this dream that they've suppressed for so long because they had the wrong people in their ear. So now they hear Jacqueline saying, "Oh, is that all you need to do? Ah, you can use this, that, and that." Because I remember when you and I talked, you were like, "Oh, that's simple." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." It was like a light bulb moment. And y'all, this is not something that I'm telling y'all about by reading about her. I actually went through was it 5 days with you?
Hmm. Yes.
A 5 day with y'all. When I tell you the girl is bad, y'all better look her up before she get too busy. Okay. But I didn't realize you had written that book, How to Use AI to Enhance Your Time with God.
Hmm.
I think I
Hmm.
remember seeing a post or something, but
Yes.
I didn't realize you had written that. How did you come
Yes.
up with it?
Oh, yeah, that's a story too. So, I was one day, I just kind of felt like, I really wasn't hearing from God the way I needed to in the moment. Like, you know how you have those times where it's like, oh, I'm reading good devotionals, I'm reading Bible stories and spending time with God every day, but it was just like, some ain't here, right? And so I just had this thought. I was like, one of my mentors years ago told me always look for information that you need for just in time. So she told me this with reading books, and the same thing applies, I believe, to scripture as well. She said, don't read books that are information for later, just in case. Read them for just in time information, meaning what you need right now. And so I was like, that's it. I've got to find a way to really think about what I need right now. Because we don't always think like, okay, what do we need to ask God about right now? Like, why are we always like worried and anxious and all of that? And once I really sat down and thought about it, I said, you know what? Let me really think about how I can do this. So I put together a system where I started to really like utilize AI to be able to figure out what I needed right now. And it wasn't one of those things where I just typed in ChatGPT or something and be like, tell me what my life is like right now. No, that doesn't work. That's being a genie that doesn't exist, right? What I really did was I just took some time to really just write out what I was feeling right now. And I asked AI to tell me, hey, what Bible story or what scripture applies to this right now? And then I just started to research the words for what I needed then. And when I tell you, a light bulb came on, I was like, people need this. And so I mapped out my exact framework on how I did that in the book. And the book also is a 30-day journal, so you can practice the process for 30 days.
Okay, it's a journal, a 30-day journal as well. Love it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, y'all better book her before she gets too busy. Because when she launched this university, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to book her. Um, so I love how you're taking. You know how you say the Bible, how the old folks say, well, you know the Lord, but I always take the foolish things to confine the wise. And you think about it, you're taking the very thing that many of us are afraid of. Because I, in the very beginning, I was like, hey, I what? And I was not, I've never been afraid of technology because I have a CIS degree. I've never been afraid, but it was not a fear. It was just an unease, an unease about it. So being able to take something like that and say, okay, it's here and it's here to stay. And if you want to get ahead of the curve, that's how you stay employed, or that's how your business stays in business. I love it. I absolutely love how God put this in you to help us stay ahead of the curve. So thank you for your obedience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So how can they get like a copy of the book? How can they book you and all the
Yeah.
good things?
Yeah. So my book can be found on Amazon. Just search how to use artificial intelligence to enhance your time with God. You can easily find that on Amazon. It is also Prime eligible now, so you should be able to get it in like 3 days or so, I believe. Um, I came out with the book in the summer of last year. It took a couple months for it to become Prime eligible. So, but it is Prime eligible now, so you can get it quickly. That's how you can get that. And also, when you do order it, if you could email me your order number at mrsjcorley at gmail.com, I will send you the ebook for free as well. So, um, so yes, we do have the e-version, but if you order the hard copy, you get the ebook for free as well. So you'll email me, I'll say it again, at mrsjcorley at gmail.com when you order your hard copy, or message me the order number, or email me the order number, and I can send you the book for free. So that's how they can get the book. Also, if you want to learn, if you want to work with me, I have a couple of ways. I actually have three ways right now. Number one, if you really are into the pattern breaking, you're like, man, I feel like I'm good on business, but I just feel like there is still something holding me back, and I really resonate with what you say about breaking patterns. Y'all can message me on Facebook, just the word pattern, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about because right now we're going through a 30-day, or actually a 21-day pattern breaking experience. So I can tell you more about that. If you are a woman who has a kingdom venture or a kingdom business, or you're really wanting to start one, really wanting to activate your purpose, you can message me on Facebook, the word activate, and we can chat and just talk about how we can take your business to the next level that God has called you to. And then finally, as I mentioned as well, I'm also a wellness consultant. So, specifically around the area of women's health. So, if you are into just kind of thinking a lot about your cycle or dealing with issues with that, anything women's health related, just message me the word women's health on Facebook and we can talk about that. Because I do have a 90-day program as well where we can talk about regaining your energy and related to women's health. So yeah. Those are my three, well, probably three of my favorite ways right now.
Okay, okay. So they
Mhm.
can either message you with women's health, activate, or patterns, and that will give them access to
Mhm.
the exact arena of what you need to help them assist them with.
Yeah, pattern activate or health.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
And what will be your final words to anyone that's listening that's like, I hear
Yeah.
her, but I'm
Hmm.
scared, or I hear her and I'm ready? What would you say to those two people?
Okay. So basically, like, oh, she basically said, like, someone who's like, I hear you, but I'm not sure, and then I'm ready. Both of those. Okay. So honestly, you really just kind of got to think about, like, what opportunities maybe have come your way that you're like, all right, I can do this, but like, I don't really know. Have these been like once in a lifetime opportunities that maybe you've missed? Could this be an opportunity for you that's like, man, this is another chance, kind of don't miss it. But also, I just really want to invite you to think about, what really could it be? Could it be a pattern, in your life where you're just kind of like, all right, I'm ready to really move forward, but it's like I just feel held back. Just know that most likely that's probably not you that is holding yourself back. And it's um, more so just what maybe you had grown up with, or maybe a pattern that belonged to somebody else, or a thought that maybe actually isn't yours. So I want to invite you to really step into that and really think about, like, okay, what is this really me? Or is it something I need to let go? And then the other person who's like, I'm ready, I guess I could just say, let's go. God is calling you to something greater. And the last thing I say too that I also like to say to people is this. Um, I believe the number is like 400 million. So we all had a 400 million chance of being born. So the fact that you're even here is your sign that God has something amazing for you. And it's time to let go of the past. It's time to let go of the things that might be holding you back. It's time to let go of the doubt. Because if you're here, that means you're able and you're worthy to be here. And also, you could even be like me, where you're born in a time where your skills actually match the time you're in. I don't think that's a coincidence, right? So I hope that today something I shared with you just really empowers you to get started, because you're more than able, you're more than worthy, and you can. So let's get you activated.
I love it. I love it. What is your website, Jacqueline?
Oh, we can't hear you, Aleigha.
Do you have a website? Still can't hear me. What's going on? What about now? Can you hear me? No? Oh my goodness. What in the world? Hold on. No? Oh my goodness, y'all. Um, oh, you can hear me? Stephanie says she can hear me. Okay. What is your website, Jacqueline? The enemy don't want anybody free, and Jacqueline will be able to help us. What is your website? Let's see. Maybe she can read it in here. So, y'all, when I tell y'all this young lady is phenomenal, she is phenomenal at what she does. Um, and she has taken the foolish things, right? Technology, tied it in with her faith because she loves technology. She's a technology specialist, major, and AI consultant now. And so, being able to help us with all of that. Okay. All right. So, this is her wellness page. And again, you can inbox her with any of those words, wellness, activate, or patterns, and she can take you in the direction of whichever coaching that you need, because each one of her programs is custom. It's custom for the okay, and the one for patterns. Okay, here we go, y'all. All right, and here's the other one for patterns. All right, there you go. And so I don't know what happened, but we still are letting everybody get everybody get going. She is finishing up her business site, so y'all can actually contact her through either of those sites or inbox her. And you can get any of her books on get her book on Amazon. It is eligible for Prime now. We want to thank you, Jacqueline, for joining us this evening and sharing your expertise with us. We appreciate you. Y'all, again, if you need to connect, you can inbox her or reach her on one of the links that I connected, Season Wellness, or her Break Patterns page. But yeah, when I tell you, the girl is very knowledgeable and she can help you. It's like the aha moment, like you see the light bulb come on, you see the fireworks just come. Yeah, all of those things. And a couple of people who have had the opportunity to work with her, we all have been like, oh my goodness. So yes, yes, and yes. Thank you again, Jacqueline, for sharing with us tonight. Y'all, we will be back same time, same place next week with on Friday Inspired. Y'all, we are continuing our Women's History celebration. And y'all, we got our annual show. The Kings are empowering the Queens. So y'all got to come back. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Kings are ready to bring it. So y'all make sure you tag a queen, tell them to come, set their alarm, join us right here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because the Kings are coming to empower you, the Queens, for Women's History Empowerment Month. So Women's History Month. So I'll see y'all. I am Aleigha, the Purpose Midwife. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we hope to see you back next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night.